Hello and welcome to Lounge Posting. This is Alex, my first time doing a video like this. We're going to be talking about Michael versus Ben today. It's been a while since someone's done a video like this, so I've decided to include a few things for the first time, including a score sheet over here. So you can see Ben and Michael's total scores on the top here, as well as everyone's scores at the bottom. So it's my first time trying out a video like this, so forgive me if it doesn't turn out great, but hey, we all gotta start somewhere, right? So right away we can see Ben has only won one game, whereas Michael's only lost one game, so they're kind of the inverse of each other. We'll see how this game goes for the both of them. Pretty important game for the both, and already we can start seeing some questionable choices, perhaps from Michael's side. As I said, Michael is on the closest side here, and we can see he's got a Pachirisu. If you remember his interview, when he was talking about his recent loss to me, he said that he was out for blood and that he would take no chances with other people, but it looks like he decided to bring a really bad Pokemon against Ben. Maybe he's really confident in this game, we'll see. He's a member of the Green Bay Pachirisus after all, so I guess he's got to bring it in at least one game, right? However, on the other side, Ben did decide to bring in Sunflora, so I guess it's even. We'll see how things go. Alright, immediately we're starting with two fairly tanky Pokemon. We've got a Umbreon and a Clodsire. We'll see how this goes. Okay, immediately falling for the taunt. And we got Poison Jab, hoping to get that poison off. Doesn't do a ton of damage. I mean, with a taunt, you can't really do much else anyways. So we'll see if he decides to switch out due to this taunt or not. We got leftovers as well, so that's... And yeah, we're going full tank here. And Gunk Shot is able to take out the substitute, though. It looks like Gunk Shot is able to do quite a fair bit of damage, and Taunt isn't going to last for too much longer. Okay, we're switching out to a shiny Rotom Heat. Now, Michael likes to run Rotom Heat in a wide variety of different ways, so we'll see how he builds this one. It's like a different way every time. We'll see. I'm not quite sure about this electric versus ground difference here, but hey, Levitate might work. Alright, so now the taunt is gone. He managed to get quite a bit of damage off of that poison jab. Looks like more of a specially defensive Rotom Heat, seems to track. And Overheat able to do a ton of damage, but of course Overheat has that special attack drop. So it may or may not kill if he tries to do it again, we'll see. Poison Jab able to almost take him out, I should say. Doesn't do as much damage this time. And he's going to Protect. Very interesting move here. Not too much to gain from this. Maybe he was expecting, you know, another Overheat or just wanted to see more of his moves. If he does go for another Overheat, it would mean his special attack drops again, so we'll see. And he does go for another Overheat and gets protected from that. Now he's going to switch out to Slowking, sorry. Hoping to take another Overheat, and he does beautifully. He's used 3 Overheats in a row now. Leads me to think he's banded or sashed in some sort of way, but we'll see, Okay, no, he switches out to Falapel, hoping to get that Dragon and Grass coverage is both good against Slowking. That's probably why he brought Falapel in the first place. And yep, gonna resist the Surf. I mean, that was a pretty telegraphed Surf right there, so good move there. Outrage, gonna take it out. This was probably something Michael thought of ahead of time. He probably got Outrage just so that he can take care of Slowking no matter how it was built, since Outrage is so much damage. I mean, that's what, 120 damage, I think, is what Outrage is at base, something like that. But the downside is that the next turn, he has to use Outrage again. And sometimes you have to do it for 3 turns in a row. So what this means is that if the opponent, for example, has like a Fairy Pokemon, they switch that Pokemon in, they're going to be immune to your next 1, maybe 2 attacks. But he doesn't have that. He doesn't have a Fairy Pokemon or anything like that, so he sends in... I'm not sure if Orthworm is the best move here, at least at first, but we're about to see very soon that he has Terra Fairy on this, so he knows how to work around the Outrage, and sure enough, takes takes it, immune to it. And that fairy type's going to be good against the dragon, as we're about to see Tera Blast. Overall, using a Tera like this, I'd say it's worth it. You took no damage from the Outrage. You're able to get rid of... I mean, Flap wasn't a huge threat. But, I mean, Fairy type is pretty good against a good portion of his team, so we'll see what he sends in. And here comes the shiny Pachirisu. Not sure how he's going to build Pachirisu, considering Pachirisu is just bad. But at least it outspeeds, probably. Okay, so he sends in Clodsire, hopefully take something. Sure enough, Super Fang, not really going to do very much. It's good, does a fair bit at least. And then U-turn to get away. Okay, that's fair. He's probably expecting a ground move here, so he can move into something that can take ground. Sure enough, let's see. It still does a fair bit of damage, but hey, it got leftovers, so not a ton there. Sends an Orthworm to take a Dark Pulse. Dark Pulse really only going to do that, what, 15%? And as we can see, he doesn't really have much for attacking moves. Taunt, Substitute, Dark Pulse, we don't know what else he has. Hopefully it's another attacking move that can be better than Dark Pulse. Doesn't seem like it. He goes for another Dark Pulse, even though it's not doing very much. I don't know, maybe switching would have been the better case here, but as we're about to see, he doesn't do much damage either, but is going to eventually win the War of Attrition, probably, even with leftovers. He goes for yet another Dark Pulse. I'm starting to think that, well, maybe he's more willing to sack the Umbreon than let another Pokemon die due to like another Tera Blast or something. This is when, as Ben, I'd probably opt for Tera Blast instead of what was he using before, Iron Head. Yeah, Tera Blast probably would have been better in case he would have switched out to, say, one of the fighting types. And sure enough, yeah, it's super effective anyways, so yeah, I don't know why he wasn't just using Tera Blast, considering how good it is against a good portion of his team in case switch out, and against Umbreon, I should say. And now we got Iron Valiant, the ace in the hole, coming out. It looks like he is running Quark Drive Booster Energy, gonna boost a special attack. This is good. He has a very, very high special attack. It's also a good thing he didn't go for Quark Drive Speed here. He really doesn't need more speed against Ben's team. He'd already outspeed his only fast Pokemon in Scyther. So yeah, the Quark Drive and special attack is definitely the way to go. And really, this one is a very scary Pokemon. However, it's very fragile, and a lot of Ben's Pokemon are quite tanky, so you really have to bet on Iron Valiant being able to one-shot some tanky Pokemon, so we'll see what it can do. And it immediately terrestrializes into Fairy type, so we get a Stab Moonblast. We've got two Fairies on the field, but not for very long, because there goes Orthworm. It's good that he got the kill here. I don't think anyone was questioning that, but yeah, Iron Head would not have been good there. And now we've got Mudsdale. Now this is a big problem considering the potential special defense that Mudsdale could be running. So the real question is, does he one-hit KO the Mudsdale, or does Mudsdale tank it? This could potentially decide the game. I mean, we're looking pretty even, so let's see. And it doesn't, left with 11% health. That's really unfortunate because as we're about to see, defense increase, and there we are, Heavy Slam. Yeah, it's very fragile, and an Iron Valiant going down without doing too much work. I mean, it did get almost 2 kills there, but really with a sweeping Pokemon like this, it's kind of unfortunate that it got down here. So he's forced to put in Quavel, which has pretty good coverage against, a good portion of his team, including Mudsdale. So let's see what he goes for. Probably some sort of water type move is what I guess, but maybe not, because Sunflora's could switch into Sunflora. And sure enough, he goes for Brave Bird. This is very interesting. Maybe he was predicting, a switch in maybe into Sunflora. Given that, it's water type against the ground, maybe he was trying to predict that, but as we're about to see, he does take some recoil damage. It's only, I believe, 4% recoil damage, and he brings in Scyther. Overall, yeah, water type move would have been better. Maybe if he had some other type of attacking move, we don't know. But Brave Bird, I don't know. It's only a little bit of recoil damage, so probably not going to matter. But it almost does, because the Aerial Ace not only is able to outspeed the Quaquaval, but is able to take it down to 1% health. Thankfully, it wasn't a higher roll than this, because otherwise that 4% recoil damage definitely would have mattered. Definitely. So Michael got really lucky here. And he goes for Roost. Definitely not the play here. Definitely would have gone for an attack because he's down next turn anyways. Maybe he didn't think a flying type move was coming, or that it would do so much damage. But really, with how what do I want to say, fragile that Quaquaval is, I would definitely have expected pretty much a KO potentially from an Aerial Ace there, yeah. And yeah, it is going to go down. Quaquaval isn't able to do like much damage at all. None to the Scyther, really unfortunate. Probably should have gone for attacking there. Now we're looking 3-2. However, I suppose Clodsire is down on health a little bit, so it's still anyone's game. And we're about to see we have Rotom Heat, which does have a type advantage, but unfortunately, as you can see, it's probably slower. We got a max speed coming in here. I would assume it would be 339 speed, and not quite fast enough for Rotom Heat. But surprise, surprise, he is actually faster and is able to get yet another Overheat in. This pretty much confirms that he's running, geez, I forgot the name of it. Is Specs? Is Choice Specs the speed one? Forgive me if I'm wrong, but it pretty much confirms that he's using the one that increases his speed, but it can only use one move at the same time. You know what I'm talking about. Regardless, use another Overheat. And for C, he has to use Overheat the next turn. So if it is against Sunflora, that would probably want a KO. And you know what? Same thing with Clodsire, he's only at 17% health, so this isn't looking too good for Ben anymore. So he sends in Sunflora. You'd expect probably like an Overheat here, but no, he sends in Pachirisu instead. Before we get to the damage calculations, I was originally confused why he didn't just go Overheat, but in the end, I think he was expecting Pachirisu to tank whatever it was, at least a little bit, and be able to potentially do some damage against Sunflora. We're going to have PU Pokemons fighting it out here. Overall, I think I've warmed up to this idea of switching on to Pachirisu. After all, he has 0.5 times special attack, and he wants to make sure that he can get rid of Clodsire in the end. Even with 17% health, it's pretty tanky, so he wants to make sure to reset that special attack back up, so it's very fair. And sure enough, it does tank a Dazzling Gleam, only 30% damage, pretty good. And you're going to switch out to Clodsire, hoping to catch some sort of, probably some sort of electric attack move. But no, he goes for Super Fang again. Only 8% damage. Of course, not going to do very much because Pachirisu is bad. Tries to quick attack to finish it off, but only loses 5%. He was like 2 quick attacks away. Yeah, Pachirisu, not good. Poison Jab, going to do a ton of damage, and finally he gets a poison off with that Poison Jab. The first time he's actually managed to get poison off. Let's see if it matters. Looks like it is going to matter. Because both Pokemon are going to die here, and we're down to 2 Pokemon. One with only 16% health, but as we saw, this Rotom Heat is very, very fast, and this Sunflora is, well, it might be running max speed, but it's not like it's going to matter, even if it wasn't Specs, so it's pretty clear what's going to happen here. We're going to see another Overheat. It's a one-hit KO, and looks like we got a very close battle coming. There's the Overheat, and oh no. Did you see that coming? We've got a Focus Sash Sunflora doing 99% damage, left on just 1 HP. I know I certainly didn't expect this when it was happening live, so let's see. Special attack drop and Dazzling Gleam. Even though it resists, it is going to take it out because that's such low damage. I think this is the closest battle we have ever had, and honestly, I mean, 1 health, literally 1 health that was left on. We have not seen a closer battle than this, with Michael suffering his 2nd loss and Ben getting a pretty solid win here. What we see here is that, well, Ben is definitely a force to be reckoned with. We've seen that when he puts his mind to it, although it was a super close battle, when you consider all his losses, they've been raced pretty close as well. So he definitely should not be underestimated, and Michael definitely shouldn't be using Pachirisu. But either way, we'll see if Michael is even more fired up after this, and see how Ben deals with this new victory, because it was definitely the upset victory here. Michael definitely favored to win, as you can see. So we'll see how they do in the future. So now I have to end the video. How do YouTubers like, comment, and subscribe, and share us on social media somewhere. Bye.